I think he's made a film or two. Please welcome Sam Neill and Dr. George Miller. Dr. George, I'm going to start with you. Is there anything that you feel, there's a microphone on the podium there if you want to grab it, is there anything you didn't get to say because they edited it out? I mean, do you want to tell us the real truth about Sam at this point?
Well, look, there's so much more I wanted to say, and look, I'm a nervous speaker. I'm one of those people who sort of is behind the camera, not at the front of the camera. But I tried to get some sense of what I think of Sam, who is an exceptional person, as everybody knows.
All right, that's it. That's enough.
Yeah, okay. No, I really tried to think up a sort of a bad, funny story. I couldn't say anything that was sort of dubious about Sam at all.
Well, let's go to the man himself. Sam, do you want to tell us anything dubious about yourself at this point?
No, but I would like to acknowledge George and say it was really kind of him to come out and say nice things about me on stage. And also, the only time George and I have actually physically worked together, there's some great missing footage, and I've talked to George about this before, and perhaps you could all pressure on him on this, but George was directing on Dead Calm second unit, which involved me in a sinking ship. And George is nothing if not inventive, and there's a whole lot of missing footage there. I'd like to see the director's cut or the producer's cut, with the missing footage of me single-handedly taking on a shark, man to shark. It was a life and death epic struggle. George shot it, and I was it. And we had several versions of the shark. It was heroic, and it's never been seen, and it's a great missing piece of Australian cinema. George, please, go to the vaults.
Look, I think it's in the National Film and Sound Archive, and I really, really regret that it wasn't the film. But Phil Noyce was directing the film, and he quite rightly said, George, it distracts from the rest of the movie, and he was right. But
it'd be a great standalone, wouldn't it?
It would. Look, I've got to say, that's where I got to know you, Sam. Yeah. And you were, I don't know if you remember, but we were on, there were three actors in the movie and two boats, and you and I worked on one of the boats, and I don't know if you remember it well, but you were underwater drowning. So I worked with you underwater, and there were sort of aerial shots as well, and also on the boat.
And cockroaches.
And cockroach on the boat.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. And anyway, I really got to know you under pressure there, and I love the fact that we were working in a pretty isolated place, and we travelled back by boat, and there was nothing to do at night but to talk, and that's where I really got to know you. And I wanted to sort of let people know that at least I have some authority when I praise you. Anyway, but we'll have a look at. I'd love to see that footage again.
Yeah.
Sam, it's this is the third in a row. These things happen in three. You mentioned on stage your Lifetime Achievement Awards sort of coming in 3 months. We obviously like to think that this is clearly the most important one. But yeah, this is the Australian Lifetime Achievement Award. Does this mean we can finally call you an Australian? I mean, we do love to claim all of our New Zealand friends, particularly the talented ones. So will you finally, here and now, admit that you are, of course, an Australian and we made you?
I think if you called me a good bastard, I would feel at home. Because that's the nicest thing you could say about someone in Australia, isn't it?
Well, some might argue that you can call them the C word, but I'm not going to do it right now. But no, you are of course a good bastard. I'm
happy to be, owned by anyone, really.
Oh, we'll absolutely claim it. How surreal is it to have the industry reflect and to all unanimously? I mean, it was genuinely unanimously the affection and the love and regard that was put forward for you there.
I was very touched that people got up and clapped, and they weren't even drunk. It was marvellous. It was really touching.
Is there? Sorry, question just here. You go ahead.
Congratulations, Sam. It's a fantastic career you've had. Was there a particular time or a turning point in your career when you thought, I've made it as an actor?
No, there's never a time when you think you've made it. That's the problem with being an actor, is you're always at the mercy of what's going to happen next. And I'd like to think, actually I know what my next job is, but that's pretty unusual. And look, I think acting I've been fantastically fortunate. It's been actually a wonderful life, if I'm asked to look at my lifetime. And a lot of that has been spent in the Australian film industry. And I've made just fantastic friends, and I wouldn't have done anything else for the world. I think, aside from the odd director and doctor, actors are about the best people in the world. Much underrated, but fabulous company, usually bright and intelligent and funny. And I wouldn't have done anything else for quids.
Have you got a question?
Yes, I have. Sam. Right. Is that your own two paintings, of course? So
I see you through my glass.
Do I look better? You've worked with a lot of people throughout your career. Is there anyone that you haven't worked with that you would like to have a chance to work with?
Actually, I was asked that question yesterday, and I'm sure as the press you've probably had the opportunity to meet him in these last few days or the next few days. My friend Tim Spall, who I think is as good a film actor as there is.
I got to meet
He's in Larrington. And Tim is a great bloke, and he's been a friend of mine for 30 or 40 years. We've never done a film together. Instead, I get to work with Brian time and again, which is great, but I'd love to do one film with Spall, because he's a really close friend.
Is it just that the script hasn't come up for you to be able to do it?
You know, it's such a lottery what you end up doing.
Sam, with 3 Lifetime Achievement Awards in 3 months, you're inherently, you're rated now as one of the wisest men in the industry. So what is the advice that you sort of would impart to, either to the industry or to individuals who are trying to follow in your footsteps?
I'm always hesitant about giving advice because I don't really feel like I'm a repository of great wisdom. But I'm confident about the future of the film industry here and the television industry. I think there's so much, there's so much opportunity, and there's some really wonderful people coming up, as well as some great old hands. I'm not an advice guy, except it's a bumpy road, and the smooth bits are fabulous, but the bumps are awful.
Question down the front.
I was going to broach that question, but also, is there anything that you want to play still in character?
Is there anything I want to play still? No, I think I've done a fair old kind of range of roles. I've always said I really wanted to be in a Western, and then we did Sweet Country, and that was as near as damn it a Western. But more than that, it was a kind of post-Western. It was a post-colonial Western, and I think a really rather important film, a harsh film, and a tough film to watch, but a film I was very proud to be part of.
Just
One
one
question
quick
from
one.
Rebecca, so I had on now.
You said, Sam,
Yeah.
you said that
This makes you think that you're finished with your career because like 3 lifetimes in a row, but you say you're halfway. Do you think you're going to continue acting until you're like 80 or?
Well, it sort of freaked me out. I've had 3 in 3 months, and no one's ever said anything like this before, or indeed said all these nice things about me. So I'm feeling a bit freaked. But the idea of retirement is completely abhorrent to me. I don't know what I'd do with myself. I hate golf. You can write that down.
I hate it.
It's a shit game. And the idea of being retired and having to play golf is just horrifies me. So yeah, please keep giving me jobs.
Look, that's a good note to end on. Sam, thank you so much, Dr. George. Thank you for protecting him from this very violent crowd. But thank you very much, and congratulations.